everyone, and welcome back to Stellaris Season 3. This will be a bit of a different type of episode, something to celebrate the series' first birthday. So sit back, relax, and let's go back over the last year. Stellaris Season 3 is the first series on the channel to last this long, being my bread and butter for the last year. It has also been the series most of you watching were introduced to me through. The first season of Stellaris ran for 3 episodes, the second ran for 10 or 11, and here we are on episode 52 of Season 3. Before we really look back over the series, some quick statistics. Over the last year, the entire season has received 5.7 thousand views since the first video was published on January 9th of 2024. Likewise, this channel has 6 times as many subscribers as when the first episode was released. For all my blubbering and all the change though, this channel has failed to do what it was meant to tell stories. It's something you've all heard me talk about several times, especially over the last few weeks. Now seems like the perfect time to write that. So let's take a trip down memory lane and look back over the story so far. Our story starts in the 22nd century, on a planet still ravaged from a series of wars fought over a century ago. Humanity would join the galactic community a few years before our series began, leaving us an established relationship with our Vulcan neighbors and the designs we would need to prosper. The early days were occupied by exploration and expansion and competition between the Vulcans, Tellarites, Andorians, and mankind. This would come to an end when an alien probe would attack Earth, leaving millions dead. In response, Starfleet launched a mission to locate the probe's origin and ensure that another attack would not occur. After some time exploring the Delphic expanse, the crew of this mission would encounter the Xindi and attempt to negotiate an end to hostilities. Unfortunately, this mission failed, and the Xindi would launch another attack against Earth. Alongside dissidents from the Xindi alliance and aid from the Vulcans and Andorians, Starfleet would successfully destroy the encroaching weapon. Aid sent by the Andorians and Vulcans would bring them closer with humanity, while trade with the Tellarites brought them closer. This cooperation would eventually lead to the establishment of a new government, a united federation of planets, that sought to serve the interest of its member worlds through mutual cooperation. Celebration was short-lived, however, with the young nation quickly finding itself in conflict with the Romulan Star Empire. The First Federation-Romulan War would prove costly, particularly for the UFP, which struggled against the Romulans' cloaking technology. Peace, admittedly, wouldn't last very long. Federation allies drew it into another conflict with the Star Empire, one which sought to regain lost territory. What quickly devolved into a game of cat and mouse was interrupted by an attack from the Klingon Empire, which struck into the Federation's poorly defended southern boundaries. At too high a cost, peace would be made. Starfleet was left crippled by the years of fighting, and the Federation left smaller by its enemies' claims. The mid-23rd century would see significant effort put into the development of the Federation's economic base, something which had proven underdeveloped over the years of war. When the Klingons and Cardassian, along with both empires' puppet states, entered into an alliance, the situation in the south would only deteriorate. Far too soon, Starfleet found itself pitted against old enemies, outnumbered and outgunned. More territory would be stolen by this alliance to the south. Looking back now, at all the hope held at the beginning of the 23rd century, it seems so ignorant of the future. Without question, it was a century dominated by war. More hope would emerge at the start of the 24th century. A period of peace would allow the century-old galactic power to develop, and both the Federation and its Starfleet would enter a golden age. By the 2340s, Starfleet was the most powerful fleet in the Alpha and Beta quadrants. Its fleets dominated by the Miranda class and its variants, historic workhorse, Constitution-class cruisers, a design which would serve for nearly a century as Starfleet's ship of the line, and the advanced Excelsior and Lakota classes, one of Utopia Planitia shipyard's most successful designs. Turning enemies to allies was no easy task, but decades of work by the Federation and its diplomat allowed the nation to join the same alliance of Southern powers it had fought not too long ago. Not long after that, the Federation would see a period of unprecedented economic, scientific, territorial, and military growth. The Cardassians, Orions, Bajorans, and many others would join the Federation. Technologic advances would see the older ships replaced by new designs, new vessels with new crews eager to prove their worth and earn a spot in history. During this golden age, the Federation would see many of its old leaders pass away. Hikaru Sulu, James Kirk, and Montgomery Scott, just to name a few. These titans, gone forever to explore new frontiers, would inspire a new generation of admirals and leaders, one which would find themselves engaged more in diplomacy than combat. Which brings us to now. The Federation is in the process of integrating the Klingon Empire, and Starfleet's eyes anxiously focus on a new threat to the north. For nearly 50 years, there have been stories of attacks and kidnappings along the northern reaches of Federation space, ones that have always publicly been attributed to pirates. Starfleet suspected something different, though, and ships were sent to gather whatever information they could. Slowly a picture began to form of Starfleet's next enemy, one which would not rest until the Federation and all other life was destroyed. One which revealed itself not long after one of the survey vessels disappeared. "We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships," was the call from the massive cube-shaped vessel as it barreled from the western fringes of Federation space towards Earth. "We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own." Dozens of ships would be sent at this vessel as it continued to the Federation's capital. "Your culture will adapt to serve us." The battle would span 3 star systems and be the most devastating loss of Starfleet personnel in the organization's history. Resistance is futile. Dozens of ships would be lost, 2 stations crippled, and thousands of officers and crew reported killed or missing in action. Though the first contact with the Borg was several years ago now, it still weighs heavy on the mind of Starfleet. While diplomacy continues along the southern reaches of the Federation and its borders expand in kind, Starfleet watches the north with caution. Maybe not tomorrow, nor within the next few years, but the Borg will not rest for long, and when the time comes, the Federation must be ready. Thank you all so much for the support you've shown this hobby of mine over the last year. Hopefully the content continues unimpeded so that our story can continue. It's been a year. I've been the Gabe Gamer, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye!